Women, we look at women because of her sexuality. If a woman's ugly, we ain't looking at her. Let's be honest. If she ain't appealing to the eyes, okay, next. If she's appealing to the eyes, so okay.
How you doing?
You find yourself having conversations. And then if a woman knows her power, she'll start seducing. Because you look at a lot of women now, they're okay with being, side chicks. When did that become a popular profession? But it's because they can get everything they want without a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so. And the Jezebel spirit is a perverted spirit which leads to the demise of men, so it brings a man down. So a man is in a position of authority not to rule, but for leadership.
Right.
A leader is not always the most dictator person, but he's the one in charge and make sure everything runs smoothly as it does. That's what. Exactly. Because when the police come to your house, they don't come. Where's Mrs. Shane at? He comes looking for Mr. Shane because love over responsibility.
Yeah. When my girlfriend and I were talking about this the other day, I came home and she's a very traditional. I've got it very lucky. I come home and the house is like spotless.
Okay.
The apartment. I'm like, thank you, honey. You did all this. She goes, I just got bored at school or whatever. And I just started laughing. She goes, why are you laughing? I'm like, we accidentally fit into our roles well. She goes, what do you mean? I say, well, in her brother's opinion, her brother's right. I'm like, Devi says that men lead and women love. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, at first she was kind of like apprehensive. Mm-hmm. Most women, they get kind of defensive. Like, what do you mean? Does it mean, I can't make sense? I'm like, that doesn't mean that. I'm like, put it this way. You wanted to show love to me today. How? Like, you cleaned the house, the cat box is done, because you know how hard I'm working to make sure I can take us on vacation and stuff. Gotcha. I'm like, someone breaks in here at midnight. Who's getting up to fight them?
You are.
It's not you, honey.
Yeah,
it's not you.
It's
me. I believe in that so much that the men, not for society likes to spin it into men are these dictators, and not for an evil purpose, for a righteous purpose to lead. Put it this way, that's the only thing we can do. We'll never have the most beautiful job of the woman. Mm-hmm. No matter what I do in life, it'll never equate to the most important work that my Anna will ever do, and that will be to bear my first child and my second, however many kids I have.
Well, the most valuable asset a woman can give to a man is a child.
It's a child. That's the most valuable asset she can give to Earth. Period.
Yeah, and that builds legacy. A man cannot have legacy if he don't have a child. He can have all the seed in the world, but if he doesn't have a child, where does he have to bring
your bloodline ends?
Exactly correct.
And think about how Matt. Do you guys know Matt Walsh?
Yeah.
He said this and it scared me to my core. Where he's like, think about it. Thousands of years of lineage passed down, and if you don't have kids, it stops.
Oh yeah.
Think about how many. Think about how far back your lineage has to go for you to stand here today.
Of course.
And imagine being so selfish to those people that sacrificed everything for you to stand today, just because you can't watch Netflix for 5 more minutes. That you're not going to have kids.
Well, that's one of the biggest confusions of sexuality. Sexuality stops your legacy. It stops the lineage line like that. And a lot of people don't understand that's how the enemy destroys. It's not about your preference. It's about your bloodline stops. Yeah. You can't procreate, you can't recreate, so it stops with you.
Basically abomination.
And that's why God considers it abomination. It stops so much. A lot of people are like, love is love. Well, love is an action. So show me what you're doing, I'll show you what you love it. But
it's not really, that term love is love, right? I get it.
People say they love cake, and you know what cake does. Eat too much cake and see what it does to you.
But even if which love is an action, and once we define that, it makes it easier to understand. But even if we play devil's advocate for just a second, we say, okay, love's love, right? Mm-hmm. There is still a nature's purpose for the bondage between men and women.
Of course.
We are opposite in every way, and that is not by accident. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as society-made gender roles. Yeah. There's only biological and religious made gender roles. Because
we can give you something simple. Take this bench here.
Who built it?
No, not that. If there was not a hole for that screw, two screws can't go together. It has to be a hole for that screw to go in to hold it together, and that's what makes it sturdy. That's make it what its purpose is.
Intertwined.
Yeah. If you had a hole going into a hole, this won't be here. If you had a screw going to a screw, it won't be here. It had
Wow! You could always just use the other one.
Yeah, it's not about making it hard. It's making it simple that people can relate to.
And I think another, like going off against branching another branch into the conversation is like when the screw and the hole become one, the bench is now bonded.
Yes.
It's whole. So what happens is when a bunch of screws and a bunch of holes start coming together, they don't fit. There needs to be a bonding when they bond together. And I think now,
you can't be fitting every screw in every hole. They're not meant to be.
Exactly.
And that's why God isn't really considered a gender. He's considered spirit, and we worship Him in spirit and truth.
Yeah.
But most people like to twist it and go, no, it's supposed to, but we could tell, we could identify that God said His only Son. So in the flesh, it was a gender as a man, but also, if you look at it closely, He also has mother characteristics as well. Not to say He did masculine, but to show that everything works together like we were just talking about.
It's an entity.
Yeah.
God is everywhere at all times.
Well, another thing is we consider a genius that uses 12 to 13% of the brain. The average human only uses 10% of their brain. So how are we going to understand God when we're only using 10% of, there's 90% we don't use. So how are we going to understand God with 10%?
We can only see in 3
God's
dimensions.
mysterious.
Exactly. So
There's a whole, there could be how many dimensions we can't even see.
Yeah.
So many planes that we
well,
don't.
you got radio waves going through this room, but you can't see them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Exactly. Waves of light that we can't see.
Yeah, thank you. And you gotta have the right instrument. Like I tell everybody's got faith. I got faith. This isn't gonna fall down.
Exactly.
Right
Yeah.
you don't see me over here like doing this though. Or you think just get a break, man? I got full faith. I'm about leaning forward. So it's basically put it. It's like a coin. You have two sides of the coin, and the Bible says, "Be ye transformed by renewing your mind."
Yeah.
The perfect and acceptable will of God, which is reasonable service, meaning that's your average thing you're supposed to do. So the thing about it is, how do you look at things? Do you look at it? Because we have choices. We have free will. We can choose whatever we want to, but we can't choose the consequences. There's a corresponding consequence to every action we take. If a person wants to get in shape, they eat right and they work out, and the corresponding response is a fit body. Now, if they work out and eat unhealthy, they're not going to see the results, and then they're going to complain. The corresponding action was 75% of it is your nutrition. So you got 25% right, 75% wrong. Which one is higher level? 75% is. So that's why you get the nutrition.
Absolutely. 100%. It's the effect of like going all in on something, right? Like cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
There are good consequences of that. I chose to put my money into my 401k this month.
Okay.
Good consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to take that money and blow it on shoes.
Bad.
Right? Everything has like an action and a reaction, and we make a bunch of little choices. I mean,
Every day.
I could have made a wrong choice. Said, "Oh, I missed it. I'll turn left." Make a U-turn. Someone's still going. Choices.
Science says we make 12,000 decisions a day.
We do. We don't even realize.
95 of them are unconscious.
Yeah.
Like what socks to put on, what place to turn. Should I blow through this red light? I mean, should I stop? Is that person going to hit me? No, they're not.
You know what's so powerful about that? It's piggyback off something you said in episode 1, which is imagine how important that first decision is to not hit snooze when you wake up.
Yeah.
Because imagine that you already like lost momentum for the day when you do that. Or that's why I love working out early. I've already made the decision to win. When I get up, I get out of bed, I put on my God and Gains gear, right? And I go to the gym and I move even if like this morning, it's like 5 a.m., it sucked. Dude, I was tight. I couldn't do a minute of wall squats. I was so tired. I got like 4 hours of sleep. But I made the decision to go anyway. And I already started my day off with a win. I had a very successful day at work. And, my relationship was well today. And I think, honestly, it all stems from the fact that I at least believed in myself enough to win the first decision. And that was something very powerful you brought up. And I think we should talk about that today, episode 2 again. Kind of reiterating that.
Let's do it.
Where is our cameraman? Where is
We got a
he?
tentative cameraman right there.
What's going on?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I figured we could just use this as like